You're ready to go live. Ladies, you're ready to go live. Please start.
Good evening. A very warm welcome to yet another session of V100 Wise and Wisdom. We have these monthly events going on all the time, and we always select a topic which is very relevant in today's time. So we are back again with a very important topic, which is on parenting. I think it's a very you can always relate this topic to ourselves and always connect it with the present times, how things have changed in the recent past. So today we are here to speak about the parenting styles and very importantly about the guilt-free parenting. I am Sudha Kumar, the West Zone Region Chair for Wellness and Wisdom India. And we have with us beautiful panelists who are experts in their own fields. Let me first introduce you to all the panelists who are here to share their views on these parenting styles. So we have with us Raida Rashid, Oman Country Chair, Chantal Bunga for Switzerland Country Chair, our own Dr. Prachi Beriwala Country Advisor, Meera Vikram, Bangalore City Chair, and Srividya Mohan, Mumbai City Chair. Thank you once again for joining and welcome. So, when it comes to parenting, we always hear these quotes like once a parent, always a parent, or parenting is a very tough journey, though it is a very sweet thing, but it's a very tough journey, challenging, so many things, right? And of course, it's challenging, especially when it comes to nowadays. We hear about these Gen Z kids, Zen Alpha kids, what not. The nomenclature only has changed the whole way. And dealing with these kids has become very, really tough. Being an educator, dealing with these small kids, I am facing those challenges. With my own kids, of course, it is there. But looking at those small children, I do feel what the challenges parents must be going on through. So, because we all want, at the end of the day, what parents want is raise happy, confident, and mature adults, right? So, during this quest of making them happy, are we giving in to their demands? Because I will just tell you one small incident which happened with me as I was preparing for this session today. My son, who is a Gen Z kid, I could say, because he's in his late teens, he comes to me and he tells me, Mom, I've planned a trek this weekend with my friends. It's already started raining in Mumbai. A trek is a good thing. All my friends are going. I have to go. I said, in my mind, I thought, okay, this weekend I thought of something else. But he kept on telling me that, okay, see, this is and this we have planned. All of them are going. If I don't go, they're all getting disappointed. So then my mind, I thought that my mom, look at my mom's heart says, then I said, okay, you go. See what happened. Like, though a part of me thought I should say no, but I gave in to the demand because I thought somewhere I am limiting. We don't want to say no to our child. We want him always be happy. So is it really a good thing? Are we becoming that yes parent? Are we feeling guilty to say no to the children? So these are all the questions which arise when we talk about the parenting styles of today, right? So I hope all of you agree with me. So we have a few beautiful set of questions for all of you here. So coming to the first question of the evening, I would like to ask Dr. Prachi, has parenting become a challenge in the present age?
Hi everyone, good evening and namaste from India. So, yes, Sudha, I do agree with you. Let me talk about a family structure in India, right? So, if you talk about family structure from a huge joint family setup, it came to joint family setup. From joint family to nuclear family to, very single, very small nuclear family. Then it became to single parenting. And now it is more of like same sex parenting, right? So I think every sort of family structure had their own challenges. Now, keeping in mind the advancement of technology, definitely it has become very challenging, because because of technology, I think we have more exposure towards everything. And at the age of 5, you want your child to learn coding because it's a trend, right? You want your child to know everything. You want your child to be bilingual or whatever, multiple language, multiple linguistic at the age of 10. So as a parent, I think our expectations are also going high, right? And unless, like in the past, uh, this magic, eye magic, where our parents used to use on us, doesn't work anymore. And moreover, if I talk about the social status of being a parent has got a lot of change. See, earlier we never had a status called as like good parent and a bad parent. It used to be like the child is good or the child is bad. But these days, the child behavior is immediately associated to the parent. Whether your parenting is not good or your parenting is bad, whatever you say that, right? So I think it has become, parenting these days has become a social status. And keeping in mind high technology, keeping in mind that definitely education pressure is there, social pressure is there, and there are other challenges, everybody's working, so work life balance becomes a big challenge. So definitely, Sudha, it is a challenging task being a parent in this era.
Okay, so sorry, my mute got control. Okay, thank you so much, Prachi, for yeah, things have changed a lot over the decades. It's no more that authoritative parent, like you said. The eyes used to speak before. Whether it's a mother or the father, any one of us or both of them, like one word from them would be is sufficient for the child to be like, okay, parents have said this, I have to listen. That's we have to obey them, you know. And parents are always like thinking about the good only for children. It's not that they don't want to say no because they don't want to give something to the child. Things have changed a lot. Yes, it's become very challenging to keep up with the trends. And so this leads us to the second question, which I would like to ask for Srividya, then followed by Raida. Has parenting evolved in the new socio-economic development?
Yeah, thank you, Sudha. And good evening, everybody. And a hi to all the G100 members. So, yes, as Dr. Prachi said, I would continue from there. Like parenting, yeah, it is a challenge and challenge is what gives us answers, actually. The moment we have a challenge, we also have a solution, right? So, that is a positive side of challenge. So let's take it ahead from that point of view. And yes, socio-economic, has it evolved in the socio-economic environment? Definitely, it has evolved. Okay, and the main challenge for parents is an awareness that there is a change. Somewhere, it's very natural for all of us as parents to always oscillate between our childhood and being parenthood. Okay, so we kind of oscillate. Simple example, all right? When I scold my child, afterwards, why do I feel guilty? How do I know that my child will be feeling bad? There, it's a reflection of my own childhood. As a child, when I was scolded, I felt bad. That stays in my memory bank. And here, I assume, okay, I underline the word assume. My child would go through the same feeling when I shouted my child. Okay, but here is where the socio-economic environment comes. Things have changed. Probably, as Sudha said, the Gen Z kids are really not that sensitive or highly emotional that they really feel bad when we scold. Okay, so not to that extent. They are feeling. I'm not saying, but not necessary. The extent is same which we as a parent feel. So coming out of assumptions and staying in the present moment is what we need. And how the socio-economic has changed, main change has happened geographically. Okay,
Yeah.
Schools are not closer to where we live, most for especially in India. All right, we live in one area, the schools are far away. So the first major challenge is that you lose almost 2 to 3 hours on commute. Okay, and at the age of 6 they start off, so the school timings, geographical, that has changed. So parents should first be ready for that, ready their child for that. Like when you know that my child is going to enter kindergarten and the school timing which I have selected is 6:30, have you prepared your child 1 year before that? You start the preparation wherein you adjust the circadian cycle and the child is fresh by the time, like, by 6 a.m. so that it can go to school at 6:30. So these are the kind of changes, adaptability, which parents need to understand. So that is the first change that has happened. Educational, in general, education system has changed. Okay, that is another change. Plus technology. Add to the factor nuclear family. So these changes are here, and change is always for growth, right? So we cannot escape change, or that is evolution. So the answer to this question is socio-economic environment has changed. Are parents ready to face this? Are we
Okay.
equipped enough to face these changes? So there, the only answer is now parents need to be more aware about certain other things, because we don't have a fallback system wherein automatically child will understand all the emotional intelligence quotients from community, neighbors, extended family members. That is missing now. Okay, they are more in the virtual world. So knowing some concepts like how actually a child learns, okay, more than we teach, what as parents we need to understand to face the socio-economic changes is the first step is to understand how is my child learning. The focus is not what I have to teach my child, the focus is on how is my child learning. So to sum it up, I would say socio-economic environment change is directly related to parent peer pressure. We all know about peer pressure for teenagers or kids. We should realize that even we go through the same peer pressure, parent peer pressure. All the parents are doing that. I'll just conclude with a very clear example as to how it works. Okay, parent peer pressure. Now everybody wants, especially in India, if you see a 6 year old or a 7 year old, they have to do the phonetics course, they have to do the abacus course. Okay, it is like just like enrolling in the school. Along with that, okay, karate, swimming, these are like a must things, to do things. You have to
Yes.
enroll. So three kids come to me, okay, all for phonetics, and they come for behavioral issues. I take them for phonetics, but all the three kids have different styles of learning. One is a visual learner. Okay, for that child, sound doesn't make sense. He can just memorize the spellings just like that. So to that child, I should not insist on sound. Okay, the second child understands sounds. So every child has its own learning style, and every child doesn't need phonetics. They can just remember it. So you don't need that phonetic class.
Yes.
So as parents in this environment, the main stress should be in the present moment, understand your child, how your child learns, and most important is definitely the child should have 1 hour of boredom time every day, because creativity starts there. Not
Yes.
necessary we have to engage them 24 hours.
Yes.
It is not the responsibility of the parents like that.
Yeah.
So yes, so Shekhar, the environment changes. We can always adapt to that. That is what parenting is about. And the child sees from us, right? How we adapt. That is what the child learns. How so?
So I
Like to
think,
answer
yeah.
Sudha's question, when the child asks, when we say now coming to the guilt-free parenting, how it actually comes in this social. See, one, we have parent peer pressure. Okay, all the parents are giving mobile. So me by not giving, am I isolating my child? Okay, that is parent peer pressure. Okay, all the parents are sending the kids for abacus class. I'm not sending. Am I not doing the right thing? So parent peer pressure is the beginning of guilt-free parenting. Okay, so once
Let's
we
take,
realize
I
that,
think, yeah.
and
True,
when we
true,
just
truly said.
yeah, and once we
Yeah.
substitute, why with should, the question is, should I say yes or no? Switch that word. Why am I saying yes to my child? Why am I saying no to my child? that would make us guilt free. Should I say yes or no will make us more guilty. Why am I saying yes or no would make us guilt free? Okay, so
Yeah.
I would conclude like, parent peer pressure is the biggest change in this present socioeconomic environment.
Thank you so much, Vidya. It was a really, I think, a thoughtful thing we have to think upon as parents. Now, over to you, Raida. Please go ahead. How would you say this?
Good evening, Sudha. Good evening, everybody. I am Raida, the Oman country chair. Going back to your question, the changes that happened, and I would like to speak about this from personal experience. I think there is no workbook or training for any mother or any parent to go through this, because we usually would like to, as you all previously said, would like to imitate our parents in how they raised us, thinking that it would work in this new generation. I mean, research says that 66% of parents say that parenting has become more difficult than it was 20 years ago. It's not the same, and most of it, 50% of it, is because of the changes in technology. And these changes are not changes that was forced upon us. They are changes that we have done ourselves to evolve, to be more innovative, to make life easier. So, and there are things that we were forced to do, and technology is something that we feel that takes most of the time of our children, because we can't control them, because they're more aware of things, they are more connected to the world. But it also affects us as parents. So you have parents who take work home, so the work life balance is not the same as before. With COVID hitting in, we had to take work home. We have to have our Zoom calls like right now. So this is, a lot of people could see it as, well, it was a bad thing that I have to do this from home, but it's a good thing because I'm still connecting with others. So it's something that we need to work with. And that guilt, when you have around 68% of parents say that I do get distracted when I'm with my child because I have work to do, I have a meeting to attend to, or I have to finish a report that I couldn't get a chance to finish it at work. So what happens then? What happens then is that you think you haven't given enough time for that child. And because I can't give you that time, I will spend more money on the things that all your friends have, because you have to be in a certain school, or you have to be in a certain club. It's not the same. I feel a lot of parents have that guilt. And then when you start saying no, apart from uh, I believe, was it Dr. Prachi said that, it's your childhood. You're probably looking back at, because I felt that that's why. Um, some probably parents didn't go through it, and you feel as a parent, I need to be more visible. I need to be there. The parent that is probably more at home but is not there, that quality isn't available. You say yes because not only that your child feels that they're they're peer pressured, you're pressured because you are not giving your 100% to that child.
True.
So yeah.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely true. So it's like, as I said, the things have changed now. We spoke about the socio-economic development. Parents, both the parents working nowadays, majority in households. So it becomes like you don't have the time. You feel. I mean, it is not that the parents are not giving the time to the child, but because we are there working, attending the calls, or like you said, work from home, we are trying to balance the home front also, the work front also. So in this quest, what happens is we are trying, maybe in the process we are saying yes to the child's demands, right? We feel that, okay, the child is asking for something, I was not able to give them the time they required when they asked me, so let me cover it up, let me do the thing for the child. So this is what is happening. So this leads us to the next question, which I would like to ask Chantal. See this, yes, I know we have to be, we call them as that yes parent, right? Always saying yes. We say that yes parenting is the positive parenting terminology. We say we have to be yes parent because yes parents are the one who are bringing up the responsible adults, the problem seekers, problem solvers, like the others. So do we need to be always the yes parent? So and how do we balance, like, is saying no not the right thing?
Hi, Sudha, and thank you
Yes.
for this awesome question. Hello, everyone. Good evening. So I would say, of course, yes, parenting is not actually something bad, but it's important to keep sort of a balance there, because if we always say yes, then the child doesn't actually understand, and there are certain boundaries that when the child is exposed to everyday life, needs to understand actually that it's not going always, unfortunately, their way. So this is why we need to actually do more work when communicating with children, that we basically explain them why certain things are not okay. And of course, it starts with that, and also with self-awareness, that we don't feel like guilty to say no, because that's the actual, I would say, feeling that resurface, of course, as a parent, because we want always the best for our child. But it's also important to understand that it's okay to say no and to forgive ourselves for that, and that the
Yes.
children will understand. But we can say it, of course, age appropriately, how and why it's not okay to do, like, or when certain behavior is not okay, why it is not okay, so they understand. Because only saying no with no explanation, that leaves them like really maybe angry or frustrated. So it's also good to actually have like this active listening and understanding, also the side of the child, why he feels or she feels the way that she feels. And so that helps both sides.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
So like yeah, so you it reminds me of something Srividya had said about her own childhood, because see, we had it would have happened that I asked for something to my parents and they said no. So you feel, okay, that memory is there in my mind, at the back of the mind, and you think, when my child asks me something, I'm not going to say no, I'm not going to make them unhappy. This is a feeling which keeps carrying, right? So I would like your views also on this same thing, Dr. Prachi, about being a yes parent always.
See, I think, Sudha, being a parent and being a guilt-free or guilty parent are two different aspects, right?
Yes.
I think when we are parent, we should just be a parent. So, without any guilt, because see, there is no competition in parenting, like you have your own style, I have my own style, right? Definitely, we copy from our parents how to do the parenting, right? And there we realize, or where we work upon that, this didn't work out well with me. So, I need to change my parenting on that aspect. And there could be a possibility, because I have already spoken about family structure, that like earlier it used to be joint family, now it has come to single parenting or nuclear
Yeah.
family. So why feel guilty about it? Things have changed, everybody's situation is different. Somebody has to, like, no, rightly she said, somebody has to get work home, somebody can finish the work at workplace. So I don't think so, like we need to feel guilty about it. And sometimes, like I personally recommend, like, like there is nothing called as guilt free or guilty wala parent, right? I think as a parent we should set boundaries for our children, right? We should say no when it is necessary. because it is very, very important for our children to understand what is a boundary, what is discipline, what is responsibility. And we should also make them to understand that these expectations are acceptable and these expectations are beyond acceptance. So I don't know, maybe, like, I might not be an expert, but I personally feel if we are able to do that much, one, we will not have guilt. Two, we don't have to be a yes parent all the time, because we will be able to justify to our child why it is being done, why it is not being done.
Yeah.
So I think that makes it a little clearer.
Yeah. So that actually answers the next question, but I would like to ask Meera her views on that one. Why do we need to opt for a yes parent or a no parent? Because I know saying no is also difficult, saying yes is also difficult nowadays. So please go ahead.
Yes, good evening, everyone. So, my name is Meera, and when we were talking about this, and I was just listening to my fellow panelist, I realized that no or yes is the parent's prerogative. But what has happened now is that many a times we bring in our own upbringing of our own parents into our parenting, and we want to change that structure. Like, for example, if something that my parents did not give me in my childhood, now I want to give that to my child, whether he needs it or he doesn't need it. Or now what has happened is, since families are shrinking and incomes are becoming more, because today even work from home or starting something on your own has become more, so parents are like, look, we can afford it, and there is no delayed gratification. What is happening is, before, if you wanted to go and have a pizza or a burger, you wanted to eat something outside, you had to wait for a Saturday or a Sunday or a birthday to have it. Today you have Swiggy, Zomato, and parents say, okay, we can afford it. It's just an app away. We don't have to go anywhere. It's coming to our doorstep. So what happens is that now parents, the thing is changing with the parents. So they are trying to break their shackles and bring in those kind of things. But we also need to realize that saying no makes them highly resilient individuals, because it will help them to face failure. It will help them to tolerate a no later, because in the house we are giving them everything that they want, but outside people are in the same rut, right? So they are going to say no, they are going to face failure, they are not going to get everything instantly, like instant noodles or something like that. So we need to understand that it has to be a balance of yes and no parenting. So as a parent, there is no workbook here that you have to say no for this and you have to say yes for that. Each parent has to decide their discretion on what they want to say no and yes. Some parents, financially they are okay, so they produce good, they send them to good educational institutes and they say, okay, we can give them the best education. Some parents don't have that means and they will still send them to an English medium, but it won't be that reputed. So now where is the yes and the no? You can buy a branded dress or you can buy a local dress. So you have to understand where to set the boundaries. Now if you're going to keep telling your child that, okay, pushing your boundaries and making yourself uncomfortable, then the child doesn't learn to take a no later. So it is best that we start from a young age, where we can say yes, we should break our parenting patterns also. I'm not saying no. Times have changed, economic situation has changed, financial situations have changed, things have gotten better. Now we are globally well equipped, we are globally everywhere sitting in our houses. So yes, lot of changes. So in that we have to be progressive also. So keeping an open mind, understanding, giving the child, encouraging their curiosity, building that trust. See, before, when our teachers used to call our parents or something, we used to beg them, don't call our parents. Now our children also say, don't call our parents, because they are tackling it themselves. So we have to tell them that whatever is the problem, don't feel that you can't call us. Please call us, please talk to us. We have your back. Today's parents are very progressive, they are very tolerant, and they're very up to date. So children building that trust and empowering decision making. See, our parents decided that, you have to do this, you have to go into this career, you have to become a doctor, you have to become an engineer. But today parents are now allowing children to, choose their own careers and to, go forward and explore. So focusing on the connection, I think, will make a better relationship today. Before we used to get 2 thappads and everything used to be all right. We used to just get 2 stars and everything used to come into alignment. Today you can't do that because of whatever is the situation around us. So focusing on the connection, whether it is yes or no, and understanding that okay, I'm not going to feel guilty because I'm saying this, and promoting that positivity. And if you're saying no, then you have to be self-aware and not be guilty about it, because you're saying no for a reason. Then if you go back and change your decision with the child, then he knows how to manage you after that. So then he knows that my parents will take it only up till here, and after that they will give up. So he will throw the tantrum till there, and then you have to give up. So I say that don't be too guilty. If you're saying no, it is for their good. If you're saying yes, also it is for their good. So you take thoughtful decisions and help them also become resilient individuals.
Yeah, truly said. Truly said. It was wonderful examples you have given, Mira. Now over to you, Chantal. Like, how would you say no to your child if it's required?
If it's required to say no, then I will give them like an alternative. For example, let's say I give an example. The child wants to go to eat like some ice cream, and it's very late. So I would say, at the moment, it's a little bit late, and it's also bedtime. But what would actually be an alternative that you would like to actually have before heading to bed? And so we shift like the whole perspective into another option. Yeah. So then it's more acceptable, and the child understands that.
Yes. So saying a no in an acceptable tone, saying a no so that it sounds yes to the child is more important, because the more you say no, the more negativity it brings, they say, right? So the more you keep listening to the no, the child will think that, okay, what is the use of asking the parents? Because anyway, they're going to say no for this thing. That's how that mindset sets in, right? So how do we balance this thing? Over to you, Raida. How do you set the boundaries? How do you balance this yes or no parenting? I know we have all our panelists have already given their views on it's not the guilty parenting or guilt-free parenting, but I would like to listen from your side. How do you set the boundaries on yes or no parenting? I think you're on mute.
Yes, thank you for letting me know. Okay, I have 2 beautiful children who are completely different from each other, and we do give advices to each other and how things are done. But you need to know you can have 2 children who are completely different. You wouldn't think that they come from the same stomach. So even if you do follow certain things, you will have to adapt on saying yes or no, or how to say it. The yes or no it will have to be flexible to that child. And I think what needs to kick in there is your motherly instinct. Just before this call, when we said we need to take a pause, take that pause, because my daughter is completely different and more submissive, and my son would question me. But both of them would be very comfortable. I mean, as human beings, we like autonomy. We like to be in control. We like to be empowered. So since they were young, I think feeding them the right values and being consistent with them, they know what are the consequences of such questions. So if I give you an example, that I don't do sleepovers. And so they know that since they're young. And even if they're asked about sleepovers, they know why yes or why no, and also telling them, being consistent. I'm not going to say yes to this person and no to that person. My reasoning to my children was, if I say yes to this particular person, then it's not good for me to say no to somebody else. So let's just treat everybody at the same way. They feel already that my mother has been consistent with her message. That consistency gives them that predictability. And when you are predictable, or what's going to happen, it just makes you more comfortable, and you feel you're in control as a child. Tomorrow, when they get a little bit even older, they're able to make decisions knowing what are the values that I was raised in at home. I am a Gen X, and raising children who are alpha. I mean, we have two generation gaps,
Right.
and that tells that even the mother now is much older. The gaps, whether this is something that you have chosen, or nowadays it's not easy to have children as fast, you know. So
Yeah.
that age gap, thinking that I would use my mother's way, which I think was very good. I think that as the generations go down, uh, the parents are softer.
True.
I feel I still have that strength because of my mother. So I think I'm not going to give in. I mean, I was born before Google was here, and I've seen the whole change of using a cell phone, or even having internet. We never even had emails and all of that. So I can, that consistency and that strength goes down. Knowing, I think, use your motherly instinct. No matter how much we're going to go and search, no matter how much we think a friend could tell you what your child is, as a mother, you will know that this child of mine, oh my God, he's not like the rest.
Right.
I can sit and talk to this child, or I need to be firm with this child. And at the same time, when does the father come in, if there's a father figure? And if there isn't a father figure, how could we work it out? Children right now are not the children we were, because
Yes.
they have more connections. They are have more accessibility to things.
True.
So you're raising somebody where you haven't been in their shoe. You cannot feel that, oh yeah, I understand, I have been there. You haven't been there because you did not have all of this. Being a flexible parent as well, I think us being more understanding, more trying to see how things are. We are learning as much as they're learning, and the only way this will work out, if we can bridge that gap through communication and understanding how things function. So my yes and no, and there is a firm no in this household, is
Yes.
I think being consistent. I've been consistent with my messages. Even if I do feel guilty after that, I do speak to my child about it and tell them it's already hard for me to be a mother right now. They are intelligent. Children are more intelligent, more mature. So if you tell them that you feel that way, they might be there to help you out. But be careful which child you say that to, because I can say that to my daughter, and which she would tell me, "Oh, you're doing such a great job." I'm not sure if I say that to my husband. I mean, my son. How would he feel about it?
Yeah. Okay, that was wonderful. I think we are having some questions. I think which we should answer right now, since we are short of time. Also, I think Srividya, you can answer this question. I feel why is it bad now to discipline kids today, or is it really bad, or should we not? About disciplining the kids. I know disciplining our time was a different thing. Now the discipline of today's generation is completely different.
Yeah. So, discipline, first thing is, as parents, we should have a clear definition about discipline. We cannot have different definitions every day. Okay. The first thing is being mindful parent. Being a mindful parent is the answer to this question. We need to have a very clear definition about discipline and a goal. Okay. The child is in level whatever, like, in from discipline to indiscipline. If the child is in level A, okay, where do we want the child to reach? Level B, level C. And what are the clear actions? What at times discipline is an abstract noun, right? It has to be translated into an action word.
Action.
What exactly you want your child to do that you would say, my child is disciplined? You're talking that to your child. You're not telling your child, be disciplined. Okay, you're telling them very clearly, exact statement, what it has to do. And one more thing which we need to understand when we discipline our child is, I'm just using a very small metaphor here. Supposing your child is climbing a tree, okay, and the child is in the lowest branch. Okay. Over there, when you tell your child, okay, if you don't come down, I'm not going to help you. All right. Depends on the age of the child. Okay. Here, that is also taken into consideration. The fall from the lowest branch, okay, there is an intensity, right? You are helping the child to come out. You go get the child down. Again, the child would climb. Now it will climb a little higher. Okay. Probably you have the strength to again bring it down, whatever ways you're using. So in discipline, this is how it grows. Now, supposing the child is in the topmost branch, there, if we just all of a sudden decide, now I'm going to be a strict parent, or like, discipline is must, come what may, I'm not going to help you. And if the child falls from the topmost branch, we have an emergency. So when we do what we do, how we do, first we need to analyze the situation. So if the child is in the topmost branch of indiscipline,
Yeah.
we need to work on the child parent rapport. Okay, there the no will not work. We need to get it, it's a gradient approach. It has to come to the next branch, we need to work on it. That is why I told you, to discipline a child, the parent should have a clear definition about discipline, and also an awareness about where the child is right now.
Okay.
That would help
Okay.
parents.
Wonderful. We have one more question. Would giving examples to children for them to see the value of the no? I think that's a right question, as it was going on in my mind while we were talking also. Like, we have, as parents, we have to set examples for the children, right? So we have to be disciplined, and we have to also take that no or yes as an answer, and we have to stick to it. Like one of us who was saying that if you are saying no now and then give in to the yes, then the child is not going to listen later. They know that the parents are going to say yes for some time and then no for some time and then come back to the yes. Their demands are going to be met, right? So would one of you like to elaborate on this? Would giving examples to children for them to see the value of the no? Mira?
Yes. Okay. So, yes, I agree that giving examples to the children, because today's children are very smart, and today you will hardly see any children who don't understand something, or don't comprehend something, and they are very curious. So they want to know the why to the what. They want to know, why are you saying it? Not like us. If someone said no, we took it at face value, we sulked, we sat, we cursed inside. Whatever we did, we said no and we let it go. Today's children will not stop unless you don't answer the why. So when you are telling them no, they are actually negotiating with you. So when it comes to that, they want to know why you're saying no, because they know that they can reach another point while they are understanding why are you saying no. So they want to come to a win-win situation. And what is happening in today's parenting is that parents are saying we want a win-win situation, so we are not guilty, plus the child is also happy and everything is going smoothly. So when you give them examples, you're actually making them understand that, look, this is why I'm saying no, so it's better you don't do it. Like, for example, if a child is touching the flame, when we were told no, we thought, oh, fire, scary, let's move away, and we never touched fire again. But this child will go, today's child will go and keep touching it till you don't say that, look, you will burn your finger. And once you burn your finger, your skin will get burned. So then they understand that, okay, why did my mother say no? So giving examples in today's parenting, I feel very necessary.
Yeah, that was really a great thing. I think, yeah, and then like you said, all of you said that setting our own examples, sticking to the no when it is required, is the best thing. To set the discipline rules in the house from the beginning and not breaking them when and where it is required, like making it very lenient, is not the thing. Like, saying no. So it's like kids are not the puppets anymore. Our approach needs to change. Yes. So it was like the authoritative parent which we spoke about decades ago. It was like whatever they said, we used to listen. Now the feeling is that we don't want the kids to be puppets. We need to give them the answers. We cannot just tell them, okay, today you are in this class, tomorrow you are going to go to that class, right? We need, even the parents' approach has to change according to the needs. Like we all spoke about how things have changed a lot. Technology has changed. Children know a lot more than what we were when we were kids, right? They have access to so much of information. So we cannot just get away by saying that, okay, today if you want something, we are not giving you that thing, or we are saying no for something, we need to explain them the reason, right? So if you have a reason behind but the know what you're saying, then children also will understand. That's when that guilty or guilt free doesn't happen anymore. So that's what is the positive parenting style, I should say. So we have a question again, where the Western media culture and values should not be, no, I don't think it should not be imposed on us. There is nothing like, I think all of you will agree with me that there is nothing like a Western media culture or anything. It's on the parenting style, that's all. What do you feel, Prachi, Dr. Prachi? Like, do you agree with me? It's not about Western media or Indian or anything, right?
I That's what I said. I think, just be a parent,
Right,
right? So I think, religion, geographical location, caste, or I don't think so that works. Like, see, if I have more money, definitely I will be able to provide, a lot of things to my child, right? See, you
yeah,
rightly said, like, everybody is working, and we are able to afford it more, right? But to what extent? That depends on me. Like, there are parents who are really running errands to run their house, but if the child
right,
has opened their mouth, they will give.
right,
Where on the other side, there could be parents, they have everything, but they know the value of, like, limit. They
true,
know that the child has to be disciplined, and the child has to learn how to listen to a no.
true,
So I think, parenting has nothing to do with geographical location. We all
right,
learn from our own experiences.
true. So it's we have one more. Would parents and kids peer pressure be a universal problem? We spoke about it, right? Peer pressure of the parents and the children. It's there. It was there, but it's more and more now, more evident now, because as Srividya said, the earning capacity has increased. Parents can afford a lot more now, so they can. So even we see children talking about the return gifts for birthdays. That child has given me these things, so we are going to have a birthday party in such a club or a hotel, or having this theme for the birthday party. You know, all children also talk a lot about this nowadays. So that peer pressure is always there. It's a universal problem. I think it's not about one country or one state or one caste or one thing, but it's a universal problem. We are all facing together that peer pressure as parents and as kids, right? So it's like, yeah, guilt-free parenting, knowing when to say no. That's what was the topic of the discussion today, and it was all well addressed. And thank you so much for joining in and giving in your inputs. So finally, the takeaway is, don't be guilty. For you are a parent, be a parent, understand your child, understand your way of parenting. That's what it is. We need not copy from the others. We need not think that the other person is much good at parenting, I am not good at. So there is no guilt in parenting at all, right? Thank you so much for joining in today. It was a wonderful session. Hope we'll see you each other one more time. Yes, Prachi. Yes, yes.
So I just want to make I'm so sorry I'm taking extra time, but I
No,
just
no.
want to make a closing remark. See, there is nobody's going to give you the prize for being the best parent. I think
True,
the best return we get from the parenting is long lasting, lovable relationship with our children. So
true.
if we are able to do that, we have been the best parent all our life. Materialistic things,
Absolutely.
guilt doesn't matter.
Absolutely. Absolutely true. That's what I said. It's parenting is all about raising that loving and mature adult, right? Who can understand, who can take in the responsibility later on, become a responsible adult and a citizen. That's what we want, right? Today, by giving gifts and videos and these PlayStations and all, it's not going to help them. Finally, like the way we bring them up is the one which is going to matter, right? Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining in. And really, we had a wonderful session. And all the
Yeah.
questions we got also were very, very relevant. Yes.
Thank you for the wonderful session.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I think
Thank
we
you.
are. Yeah, we'll move out now. Yes.